Hello everyone and welcome to Cooking with Kids. Today we are making French toast roll-ups.
So for today's recipe, we are going to be using bread, milk, eggs, ground cinnamon, brown sugar, butter, and some sugar. And just so you know, in your kit, some of the ingredients will be used for the spread and some will be used for what's needed on top.
So the first thing we're going to do is crack our eggs open, give it a whisk, add a little bit of milk, and put it to the side for later. So in the kit you received, you have enough ingredients to do all 16 slices of your bread. I've cut my recipe in half, so I am only going to do 8. So here I am adding 3 tablespoons of sugar. If you were doing all 16, you will add 6. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. If you're doing 16, you will add 4. And we're going to give that a shake and then put that to the side for later.
So just a reminder, I've cut my recipe in half. So if you are doing all 16, you will just double up with what I add. So here I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of melted butter. If you are doing all 16, you will add 6. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to put the leftover butter to the side because we're going to use that to fry up our French toast roll-ups. Now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, and 3. And again, if you're doing 16, you will add 6 tablespoons of sugar. And here I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. If you are doing 16, you will add 4. 1 and 2. Now we're going to mix all those ingredients all together. Oops, I almost forgot 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Now we're going to mix those ingredients all together. If you do find it too thick, you can just add a little bit more melted butter because we don't want it to be thick. We want it to be a spread for the bread.
And now it's time to prepare our bread. So we have to cut the crust off all our slices of bread. So cut, cut, cut away.
So now that we have cut off all the crust, it's time to get our rolling pin and we're going to flatten out all our slices of bread. Try to get it as flat and as thin as possible because the flatter it is, I have found it was easier to roll. If it's too thick, they kind of break a little bit. So I'm just going to roll out the best I can and get it as thin as you can, and we're going to prep them for that spread. So now that our bread is all rolled out, grab that cinnamon spread you made earlier and we're going to spread it all over each slice of bread. Now it is time to get rolling. We are going to roll up each slice of bread. They don't need to be perfect or pretty, but do the best you can and roll them up tight. Now that we have them all rolled up, it's time to grab that bowl of egg we whisked earlier. So now we're going to take each French toast roll up and we're going to give it a good dip in the egg. Cover it and make sure it's covered well before we have to put it in the frying pan.
Now grab that leftover butter and add it to your frying pan. There we go. And I would put this on about medium-high heat, let the butter warm up and let the frying pan warm up, and then it's time to add our French toast roll-ups. So now that our pan is nice and hot and our butter is warm, it's time to add the French toast roll-ups. And we are going to cook these on about medium-high heat until they are golden brown. These are looking nice and brown and golden. So I think I'm ready to take them off and do our next step of adding our cinnamon and sugar. So now we're going to take that cinnamon and sugar we mixed earlier and we're going to sprinkle it all over our French toast roll-ups. It's a good idea to maybe turn them around so that it gets covered in the cinnamon and sugar on both sides. And here is our French toast roll-ups. You can dip them in syrup, but if you don't like syrup, you can dip them in whipped cream or ice cream. Let me know what you chose to dip your French toast roll-ups in. Until next time, bye!